What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. Alright, guys. So, Emma Stone looks to be maybe going down the same road as what Scarlett Johansson did in suing Disney over, these simultaneous release on Disney Plus and in theaters of movies. I've kind of had a different view of a lot of, from a lot of people when it comes to this. I'll make fun of Disney all day long. But at the same time, I felt like Disney, depending upon the contract and when it was made, when they said to Scarlett Johansson, you're not taken into consideration, basically, I feel like they could have worded it different and not made her sound like she's such a horrible person by wanting the money that she was owed. But I felt like at the end of the day, what they were trying to say somewhat made sense. Because you had to take into consideration, they didn't know when the pandemic was going to happen, what effects of it was going to be, and so they had to change their plans according. And of course, you know what? At the end of the day, they probably looked at Black Widow and they saw this movie and they're like, "Ugh, this really isn't a very good movie. If this goes into just theaters, it's going to tank, and when it tanks, it's going to bring down the MCU brand in general, and we're not going to have an excuse." So I think by releasing it on Disney Plus, one, it built up, fan base when it come to, getting Disney Plus subscribers, and it also gave them leeway of saying, well. The reason why it didn't do so good in theaters is because you're not taking in consideration how well it did on Disney Plus. I felt like it gave them leeway. I thought it was a win-win for them in a movie that was just destined to fail. But at the end of the day, like I said, judging by when that contract was made and how it was worded, I feel like at the end of the day, they still owe Scarlett Johansson what she is owed. I don't deny that one bit. But at the same time, I'm not going to hate on them in this one instance about that, because there were unforeseen circumstances that had to be taken into consideration. And this movie had to go around those circumstances. Of course, Black Widow was delayed. What would it have been like if Black Widow hadn't have been delayed? Did any of these Marvel series play a role in the excitement that went on with Black Widow? I would go so far to say, to a certain extent, not having movies just being pumped out all the time did have an effect on Marvel. I feel like it had a really big effect on even who watched the series. And I just feel like Disney does, to a certain extent, have a little bit of leeway. I'm not going to take up for them. I'm just going to say, on this one, I'm not going to attack them, even though I will enjoy if Emma Stone sues them along with Scarlett Johansson and a few others for these simultaneous releases. But then it all comes down to, what will this do for, like I said, these at-home releases? I wouldn't have paid $30 or however much it is, plus the subscription to Disney Plus or to any of these streaming services for that matter, to watch a movie that I could see in theaters. I'm not paying that much. I'm just not. Maybe it's because it's all new and it still feels like that's a lot of money for something that you're paying for at home when you're already paying for a subscription of it. That's the way I personally feel towards that. Now, if it was free and they maybe hiked up the subscription cost of Disney Plus so that you could get content like that, I would actually be open to that, to be honest. But it's just the fact that you had to pay for the subscription and then you had to pay for the movie on it that I have the biggest problem on. That being said, I still like the option that they have this. I feel like it's more fit for how the future is working out. I feel like theaters are outdated. I feel like when people are like, open up theaters so we can go see movies in theaters, and oh, the experience in theaters. And I'm thinking to myself, every time I hear somebody say that, is these people forgot what it's like to be in a theater, where you have kids talking in front of you, you have sticky seats, you have those armrests that are usually broken or, like I said, sticky with some unknown substance you don't probably want to know. It's just a dirty place in a lot of different theaters. At least that's the way my experience is when it comes to theaters. You're packed in this crowded corner, possibly with next to somebody you don't want to be next to, or that's in front of you. I don't know. I'm from Texas, and I don't know how many times I've gone into a movie theater and there's a tall guy that's always wearing a cowboy hat. That is something that just annoys the ever-loving crap out of me. But that's something that I've seen often. I've experienced often. I personally don't enjoy going to theaters that much. I rarely ever did. But at the same time, I just feel like nostalgia has played a gigantic role in making people think that it was such a grand experience. Maybe when you're like 5 or 6, and you're going to see, a first ever Star Wars movie, maybe that's something big. But I mean, tell me, what is of that level now? What is a must-see movie that you feel like you're going to be telling your grandkids that you saw in theaters? You think it's going to be Avengers Endgame? No, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be any of these Marvel movies, DC movies, or whatever. It's not going to be, it's not going to be 101 Dalmatians. It's not going to be, Cruella. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be Black Widow. It's not going to be any of those. So I feel like that is just an overrated experience all the way around. But that being said, to a certain extent, I can't help but laugh at it that Disney is getting their comeuppance when it comes to this. I feel like they played identity politics for so long. They were trying to do it with Black Widow, and this completely and totally turned on them. So you know what? At the end of the day, they probably do get what they deserve about it. I will make some slight disagreements on some things. I won't hold them necessarily to fault about things. But look, anytime that you make a contract with somebody, I get it. There's unforeseen circumstances, but you still have to pay people what they're owed. I just hope this does not undermine at-home releases in the future. But guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Do you on Scarlett Johansson's side, or are you on Emma Stone's side? Do you believe that Disney should pay them what they owe? Do you think that this will affect at-home or simultaneous releases of upcoming movies? Do you think stars will want to be a part of simultaneous releases, for that matter anyways? Because let's face it, they're not getting box office numbers. They're just getting subscribers for these subscriptions, these companies. So I mean, like Netflix and Disney Plus. So it's going to be a change in Hollywood one way or the other. I hope it's for the best. I hope maybe all this hypocrisy from Disney, Marvel, and all that will be behind them. I hope they'll understand that they played too many different roles, and they're not doing what they're preaching, which they never have and they never will, and Hollywood never will either. But as always, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.